What's up, everybody? Back with another reaction video. You know I like to watch other content creators, not just the big names. I like to see what these other content creators got in store when talking about the Dallas Mavericks or anything in general. I think I might just start reacting to a whole slew of different styles of content. This is from JCB. Y'all go check him out. His video is going to be linked in the description below. The video is titled PJ and Naji are X Factors. This video was suggested to me by Hold My Latte. So if you ever see Hold My Latte in the comments, you already know who that is. And because of that, I had to go get a couple of sound bites for PJ Marshall, Naji Marshall.
It's a knife.
Yeah, man.
21. Can you do something for me?
All right, man. Enough of that. Let's go ahead and get straight to it. All right. Again, this is by JCB, talking about why Naji Marshall and PJ Washington are the X Factors. And move my logo over here. Let's go and see what he got. Again, you know, I like to see if other people know the Mavericks like that. You know, trying to see if they know the Mavericks, see what they got going on. Again, if y'all don't mind dropping a like on the video, goes a long way. Let's get it started.
Y'all might get tired of me making Dallas Mavericks videos, but especially with the increased amount of uploads that I'm going to be doing on this channel, I'm going to be talking about my Mavs more than ever, which means y'all are probably going to get at least a Mavs video or two out of me each week, to be entirely honest. They're my favorite team. They're the team, obviously, that I watch the most because of that. Okay. And while this is not a Mavs-centered channel, the Mavs will be the team that I will talk about more than any on this channel, because I think at the end of the day, number one, it's the team I'm most knowledgeable about, and number two, it's the team I'm most passionate about. So I was seriously tempted to make a video tonight ranting about Spencer Dinwiddie, but I just don't see how that's helpful. Was he the reason that the Mavs lost against the Heat today as I record this video? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it worth ranting about? No.
No.
So instead, we're going to make a more positive style of video, and we're going to talk about Naji Marshall and PJ Washington, who are the X factors, in my opinion, of this Dallas Mavericks team. If we are going to be good this season, which we are 100%. I have total faith that the Mavs are going to be very good. The X factor to this team in terms of how far they can make a run in the playoffs this year is these two guys, PJ Washington and Naji Marshall. And say what you will about the other acquisitions, guys like Klay Thompson and Quentin Grimes, both of whom have shown flashes. And I mean, Quentin Grimes especially starting to play, I think, much better as of late, although he wasn't great tonight. Yep. I think both those guys are important, and both those guys are going to play valuable roles. But at the end of the day, the versatility and skill sets of Naji Marshall and PJ Washington will be the thing. And I think the key to whether or not the Mavs are able to make a deep run in the Western Conference playoffs and contend for an NBA championship this season. Before we hop into it and explain further, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe.
I actually totally agree with what he's saying. I know somebody was like giving crap to Naji early in the season because he couldn't make threes, and they were like, oh, that's going to impact us in the playoffs and this and this and that. And I wasn't too concerned about his threes yet. I know some people were like literally jumping off a cliff immediately when his threes weren't going down early in the season. But I think Naji's style of play is perfect for playoff basketball. It is perfect for half-court basketball with Luka Doncic. And I totally agree with him. I do think Naji is definitely an X factor. PJ is a massive X factor. I think Naji adds to what the Mavericks want to do, but PJ Washington is going to be a pivotal player for us. But Naji Marshall being able to give you something more than just defense, like Derrick Jones Jr., is big. I totally agree with let me get his name right. I'm gonna get the name right. It is JCB. Salute to JCB, man. This is a pretty fire video right off the top. Let's go.
Button. Help me push towards the 1,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I'm trying to get this channel monetized. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe.
I'll get them to 1,000 subs, man.
The channel, especially. Without further ado, let's hop right into it and let's discuss these two guys. So first things foremost, PJ Washington put up 21 on 7 of 14 tonight, 1 or 2 from the three-point line, 6 or 7 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Just a really versatile, really good game from PJ, and I think he played really well. And then honestly, Naji Marshall, same thing, 8 of 16, 3 of 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 20 points. I know he was a minus 18. I kind of think that plus minus is a flawed stat. I'm going to be totally honest, because he was, in my opinion, one of the best players on the court tonight, not just for the Mavs, but in general. I mean, Kyrie had a decent but not amazing game. The efficiency wasn't great. At the end of the day, they lost because of Dinwiddie. 1 of 12, 0 of 9 from 3 is just, I mean, unrecoverable. And J Kidd decided to play him pretty much the entirety of crunch time late in the fourth quarter and overtime, which was a baffling decision by me. I'm sure at some point I'll complain about J Kidd's coaching decisions.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. It is a slippery slope, as they say, man. Don't do it, JCB. Don't do it, brother. But yes, could criticize Jason Kidd. That Miami Heat game was justifiable. It was justifiable. But Spencer Dinwiddie did bounce back against the Atlanta Hawks in a big, big way. That is for sure. Oh, I gotta hit Gabriel. Oh, what? Oh, I didn't know that's how that worked. Okay.
J. Kidd decided to play him pretty much the entirety of crunch time late in the fourth quarter and overtime, which was a baffling decision by me. I'm sure at some point I'll complain about J. Kidd's coaching decisions as they continue to impact games negatively at times as the season progresses. But I think a lot has been made and a lot will continue to be made about the center duo of Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. And those guys are really, really good. Luka obviously missed this game, the second game without Luka for the Mavs out of likely 4 or 5. And realistically, the Mavs probably should be 2-0 in those games. Kyrie missed a free throw with 8 seconds left that would have put the Mavs up 3 instead of 2, which would have allowed them to foul up 3 and likely put them in position to probably win the game. Instead, Jimmy Butler got a dunk and the game went to overtime. And the Mavs lost in overtime, unfortunately. Dinwiddie just couldn't throw a rock in the ocean, I don't think, to be honest. But
not in South Beach.
The reason that PJ Washington and Naji Marshall are so valuable to this Dallas Mavericks team is because of the overall versatility that they provide on the court. Their ability to be truly above average to even very good defenders. I think Naji Marshall specifically qualifies as a very, very good point of attack defender and a very versatile defender. And PJ Washington certainly isn't a bad one as well. I mean, he was the main defensive guy for the Mavs down the stretch last season and in the playoffs, and a big, big reason, especially against the Oklahoma City Thunder, but in general, as to why the Mavs were able to make such a deep run in the playoffs. And I think having two guys in Naji and PJ who have the positional versatility that they have and the skill set versatility they have is huge for a team that will close games with Kyrie, Luka, and one of Gafford or Lively, probably mostly Lively, at all times.
Facts. You need that versatility. Now, unless Clay can come back and start shooting 40% from the three, the way Naji's playing, I might want him to close with PJ Washington. I'm just saying, man.
With that being the case, the question therefore becomes the versatility of PJ Washington and Naji Marshall. I feel like fill those last two spots. And I mean, I guess the question technically is who fills those last two spots. For me, I think in a lot of matchups and a lot of situations, it's PJ Washington, Naji Marshall. Not only that, PJ Washington is capable of playing some small ball 5. And there will be certain matchups where that will be the choice. And they will close with a lineup, something like
the death lineup. I don't know if y'all know about the death lineup, man. The death lineup is Luka, Kyrie, Clay, Naji, and PJ Washington. That is the death lineup, the Mavericks death lineup. That is a tough lineup to deal with. My God, just the amount of options and versatility and capabilities. You don't want to deal with that lineup. Let's continue.
Like Luka, Kyrie, Clay or Grimes, PJ, and Naji, with PJ at the 5 and Naji at the 4.
Hey, JCB knows his stuff, bro. Salute the JCB, man.
It's a knife.
He probably a chill guy too. You know what I'm saying? JCB a chill guy. You know. Salute to him.
Those guys have real positional versatility, can play 3 through 5, can guard pretty much, I mean, especially Naji 1 through 4, and PJ can guard 2 through 5-ish, kind of, if it's a smaller 5 at times. They provide real defensive versatility and real defensive skill sets, which combine with the ability to be much better, I would say, off the dribble shot creators and much more physical finishers with the ball in their hands than a lot of the wings in the NBA. And I think that is the most valuable skill set of these two guys, is their ability to be creators off the dribble, off the catch, if need be. Both of them have shown a lot of touch around the basket with their floaters, the ability to just out physical a smaller defender, which is a matchup that both of those guys will certainly get at times because teams are going to want to put better defenders on guys like Kyrie and Luka, which is going to create mismatches for a 6'8", 6'9" big like PJ Washington, Naji Marshall, with the physicality, strength, and finishing ability that those guys have. And I really do think that is going to be one of the biggest keys this season for the Mavs, is their ability to have guys who are able to shot create off the catch, next to Luka and Kyrie, with the physicality to finish. And I haven't talked about shooting yet. But the ability to just out physically a smaller defender, which is a matchup that both of those guys will certainly get at times because teams are going to want to put better defenders on guys like Kyrie and Luka, which is going to create mismatches for a 6'8", 6'9" big like PJ Washington, Naji Marshall, with the physicality, strength, and finishing ability that those guys have. And I really do think that is going to be one of the biggest keys this season for the Mavs, is their ability to have guys who are able to shot create off the catch next to Luka and Kyrie, with the physicality to finish. And I haven't talked about shooting yet. But shooting is the one I would say perceived question mark for these two guys. Now, Naji Marshall was a 40% three-point shooter on wide open catch and shoot threes last season. PJ Washington has at times in his career been a very good three-point shooter in his own, but not including tonight's stats, which are not included in this, PJ Washington to this point in the season is shooting 25% from three. Was 31% with Dallas last year and 32% with Charlotte before that. Year before that, he was a 35% three-point shooter. Year before that was 36. And his first 2 years in a row were 37 and almost 39. So the shooting has fallen off a bit, which is a little strange for a guy who honestly entered the league, I think is quite a good shooter. And I find it fascinating that he struggled to shoot the ball this much over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But that number should go back up. Now, will it go back up to 37, 38%? Unlikely. Will it go up to mid-30s? I would say that is more realistic. I mean, PJ's only played, I guess, 12 games this season, and I do think things are going to start to fall for him, and shots will start to fall at a higher rate than they have. I mean, I saw a stat a couple days ago before the Nuggets game that he was shooting 6% on corner threes this season.
Wow. I didn't even know about that. Yeah, I totally agree. That's why PJ Washington, bro, I didn't even know he shot that great back then. He came into the league shooting amazing. Damn near 40% in the second year and then just kind of fell off the cliff. Like, you have to have players that could, space the floor out. And if PJ Washington becomes a player that can't hit that three, man, it's going to hurt us. It's going to hurt us. That one I'm more concerned about. PJ Washington's three ball is what I am way more concerned about right now.
6. That's just not going to sustain itself.
Nope.
But that is the biggest concern with both of these guys. I mean, Naji Marshall in his last 2 games, to be fair, was 3 of 5 from 3 tonight against the Heat, 3 of 4 against the Nuggets on Friday night.
And Naji's figuring it out.
Massive offensive games for Naji, including a career high 26 on Friday against the Nuggets in that win, and has been a really, really impactful guy who's been huge offensively and stepped up big time over these past 2 games. Really, both he and PJ have. But at the same time, not including tonight's game, he's shooting 20% from 3. Now, that number, again, goes up relatively, not significantly, but a couple percentage points probably after tonight's 3 of 4 performance. I mean, I can go down here and look at the totals. I would say realistically, he's at 7 of 34. So that puts him at 10 of 39, which is above 25%. So it goes up several percentage points tonight, but still, both of these guys are shooting less than 30% from 3 so far this season.
Yep.
That is not sustainable, and that's going to be the biggest issue for the Mavs, is if neither PJ nor Naji can truly get that 3-point shot to fall with consistency.
On top of Luka Doncic being inefficient early in the season. And I think that's what's been contributing to the L's early on in the year, is Luka was off, Naji was off, PJ was off. You're not able to get good efficiency out of, key players, and especially your main player. That's going to hurt you. And somebody's got to be efficient to help basically make up for the bad efficiency. And Kyrie was doing that. And now Kyrie's kind of coming back more to the mean. So we need all our players to be back healthy. Luka, and Clay and Grimes, and everybody just needs to shoot their averages. If the Mavericks could just shoot their normal averages, we will be unbeatable. Let's continue.
That is the main flaw with these guys, though, because everything else you need players to do on the court, I think they both provide at a pretty high level. The size, the versatility defensively, the ability to attack off the dribble, the ability to finish at the rim, the athletic ability, and even the rebounding. Like PJ Washington is rebounding the ball at the highest rate of his career right now at 8.5 rebounds a game. This point in the season, 2 offensive rebounds a game as well is huge. I love that athletic ability and that aggression. I mean, even Naji, he's only averaging 3.5 rebounds a game, but one of those is coming on the offensive end of the court. These guys are versatile, skilled wings / undersized bigs, if you want to think of them as power forwards. But there is really a skill set with both of those guys that I think very few teams have 2 players capable of providing, as in a lot of matchups, your 4th, 5th, 6th best players on the team on any given night. I really do, despite the Mavs' relatively rough start to the season. I mean, to be fair, they had won 4 games in a row before losing tonight. Despite a slow start to the year, this team is really deep and I think very, very good. And when Luka comes back, I think this is a team they're going to get hot. I have a feeling this Mavs team is going to get hot, and they're going to be in the discussion for home court advantage in the Western Conference.
I hope so.
I hope so. That I can promise you right now, there's not a single squad in the Western Conference that wants to play the Mavs in the playoffs. No. They match up well against pretty much everybody with the amount of lineup versatility that they have, the amount of different rotations that they can run. The biggest question is going to be, can J-Kid get his stuff together? And Spencer Dinwiddie, if you're not going to be a contributor, you got to be replaced by another bench guard who's able to create shots and provide some stuff, because his shooting is just not where it needs to be right now. And his decision making, it's not just the shooting with Spencer, it's the decision making as well. I mean, 28 minutes tonight and just a
I don't know. I don't know about the decision making. He did get 7 assists in that game against the Heat. I think he does help kind of orchestrate the offense. He is a vet. Let's show him some respect, right? And obviously, I have hindsight 2020 to lean on that Atlanta Hawks game, but Spencer Dinwiddie, he's good, right? He had a rough game against Miami, and thankfully he had another game to bounce back from that. But I want to say his decision making is that poor. He has 0 turnovers in that Miami Heat game, and kind of like he explained in that post game where he had a lot of grenades he had to shoot, right? Like 10% chance of the shot going in. So it's come a little slack. All right.
Atrocious. Now, I know that he's 35% from the 3 this season. Tonight was his biggest role probably of the year, and he was a disaster. Just not the responsibility that we want to put on Spencer Dinwiddie on a night-to-night basis if the Mavs are going to win. But with Luka back, his role should be much smaller. And so the issues that we're experiencing tonight shouldn't be as big of a deal.
Thanks.
With that being said, that is going to do it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy. Just thought I'd talk about Naji and PJ and how well both of those guys have been playing as of late and how important they're going to be to the Mavs' future success if the Mavs want to make a run this season. So with that being said, it's going to do it for the video. Hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more NBA content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Cool. Appreciate the suggestion. Hold my latte. The homie knows his stuff. He knows his stuff for sure. He knows his stuff. It's good to see someone not clickbait us and get straight to the point and talk about some legitimate perspectives about the Dallas Mavericks. And I totally agree. I do think PJ Washington is 1000% an X factor, and Naji Marshall being able to not just be a Derrick Jones Jr., being able to be more than that offensively, being able to be better defensively. If you look at the numbers, it's a great take. It's a solid take, actually. It's a really good solid take, and I liked it. I like the good stuff, man. It's been your boy TGK. Consider subscribing. Consider liking the video. Consider becoming a member. We host mass pre and post game shows. Again, appreciate y'all stopping by. It's been your boy TGK. Until the next one, or what up? I don't even say it like that. Anyway, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. We out.